angel babies, whatever the fuck he calls these
God.
broads. And
Yeah, Corey's Angels.
in their boosted Victoria's Secret Angels gear from the 90s.
Talk about Arrested Development. This kid is like 8 forever.
Man. Somebody needs to tell them she quit being cute when we were 6.
Yeah.
And I can see that because me and Corey Feldman are the exact same age.
Right? Like the Michael Jackson impersonation.
You know he's back on tour, right?
Yeah, the Loser Tour with like, I don't know, what does it say?
Limp Bizkit? Yeah,
oh,
Limp Bizkit.
God.
And I think Mushroom Head? Limp Bizkit and Mushroom Head, I think, is on that.
Mushroom Head or Buckethead?
Mushroom Head. Different from
Yeah.
Buckethead.
Yeah, no, Buckethead. His standards
Head-
are just a little bit higher.
Mushroom Head, depending on who you ask, is kind of like bootleg Slipknot.
Oh.
Because it's like 50 guys in the band, and they all wear like spooky kooky masks.
Yeah.
So some people will say Mushroom Head is like
Yeah,
the redheaded stepchild.
I know. Now, this is a tour that makes like the Juggalo Gathering look fairly sophisticated.
I just watched the infomercial because Gathering is next.
Isn't it upon us?
Gathering is upon us. I think it is either this weekend or next weekend.
That is awesome. My favorite thing about these people are how much they hate Nazis.
And
I love that.
I will say that Violent J looks better.
Oh, good. Yeah, he was a bad shit.
Last year's infomercial, I was like, I think this is it. This may be the last time I see Violent J. Juggalos are some weird fuckers, but I don't wish them dead. God damn.
It looked like congenital heart failure was going on.
Yeah, but he's looking robust.
Yes, that's
he's
good.
Looking better.
Good for him.
Shaggy 2 Dope looked like was reading off bands. I was like, he don't know who none of these motherfuckers are. Like I felt like Shaggy 2 Dope was trying to hype up all these bands, and the only name he recognized on the list was Rakim.
Oh wow.
That was the only name he was excited about too. Rakim. God MC. He was very happy about that.
I know this one.
And everybody else was like, Shaggy don't know who on this label no more. Shaggy does not know. But it was a fun infomercial, as they usually are at the gathering of the Juggalos.
Yes.
So to all our, if we have any Juggalos out there, I kind of low-key...
I salute you. Honestly, I've never met a Juggalo that I didn't like.
Juggalos are like your weird younger cousin.
Yeah.
You know, but he knows better than to speak to you in public.
Aw, come on.
But when you're at the reunions and stuff, he's mad cool. You just don't want to... No, because, you know what, he's your Juggalo cousin and the kind of motherfucker that walks around doing Naruto noises at people, and nobody wants to deal with fucking that. Some fucking grown-ass 20, 30-something that's drinking Faygo going, whoa, and listening to ICP. Don't nobody want to deal with that in public.
No, that is way more fun back at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why when you see him in public, he knows better than to speak.
Yeah.
You just got a little what's up, maybe, little acknowledgement, but you don't acknowledge each other in public, and he knows that. But at the reunion, he is your favorite person to hang out with.
Yeah,
those are the Juggalos, our weird younger cousins that we only talk to at home.
We love you, kids.
Just back up the Faygo, though. Y'all gonna give yourself diabetes. The diabetes is real.
Yeah, get some Diet Faygo. I drink water, but
I mean, I'm like
baby steps.
Do they even make Diet Faygo?
I'm sure they do. There's Diet Mountain Dew.
I feel like that's a sin against God and man.
I know, but there is Diet Mountain Dew, and this is a capitalist hellscape we're living in. There's no like reverence for the redneck culture. None at all.
Now, you know, also the people that bottle Faygo, also bottle LaCroix.
No way.
That
makes so much sense.
Fancy,
it's that leftover Faygo flavor that explains it.
Yeah, that fancy like seltzer water.
Oh my god!
It tastes like ass. Fruit flavored ass.
It's like the water they use to to flush out the Faygo.
It's the malt liquor of fucking Faygo. Like malt liquor is made out of like scraping the malt off of the barrels. Mm-hmm. LaCroix is made from scraping the sugar juice off of the Faygo.
Exactly.
So every time I see somebody with a LaCroix, I'm like, you're a fancy Juggalo. You're a very fancy Juggalo. You just don't know it. And in case you didn't know where you are, this is not the Gathering of the Juggalos. I am Sarah.
And I am Jeannie, and we will not force you to open up your Spotify for our inspection.
No, we will not. And this is Talk Deadly to Me. Oh, are you ready to pick up where we left off with Liysa Dewitt Northern?
I'm ready to box her.
A lot of people probably are.
That's what I'm ready for.
So now, when we last left off, Liysa was, trying to get Chris, getting Chris to marry her, cheating on him constantly, just
living his life.
Yes.
Going off on exotic adventures while he stays home and watches the babies. Because of his inconsequential job of just being a pilot.
I know, it means nothing. I'm a surf photographer,
Exactly. I've got asses to, take snaps of.
And I can't remember if I told the story last week or not, but she is the worst person to be in an airport with.
Oh, God.
Because she's filthy.
Really?
Dirty, filthy, nasty, disgusting hippie. So she went to get on a plane. She's in the Hawaii airport.
Yes.
Now, I know in Hawaii, culturally, people don't always wear shoes.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It is a beach bum town.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're either barefoot or wearing some sort of flip-flop.
Yeah.
Slippers, they like to call them, sandals, whatever. Mm-hmm. It is definitely a barefoot town.
Yeah.
And she assimilated into Hawaiian culture, life, whatever, fairly well. So she took to not wearing shoes a lot. Mm-hmm. So she goes to the airport. She goes to get on the plane. They see she has no shoes on. Mm. They will not let her get on the plane.
Yeah.
She's got to get shoes.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to get shoes. This bitch goes and finds a Sharpie somewhere and draws a line over her toes.
Yes.
Like a flip-flop line.
Yeah.
To make it look like she went and bought flip-flops. And the bottom of this heifer's feet is so nasty and dirty that the fucking flight attendants fell for it.
Ew! Oh my God.
Mm-mm.
That's awful.
Mm-mm. No soda man. Nasty. And even though I know Hawaii is like a barefoot kind of place.
Yeah.
I never saw any native Hawaiian peoples with dirty feet.
Well, no, they wash their feet every night.
Never. And I'm talking people that probably walk around barefoot 40% of the time.
Oh,
their feet were not filthy.
Yeah.
Her feet were so fucking dirty that she could draw some lines on there and trick somebody into thinking she had on flip-flops and got on that goddamn plane.
Oh, I guess she falls into that cohort that doesn't wash their legs either. Or use washcloths.
Just dirty. I'm dirty,
yeah, that is
nasty.
Gross. And I would not want to be in an airport, let alone sitting next to them on the plane.
Hey, she got on that plane though. Dirty feet and all. How disgusting are your feet? If people are like, oh, those are shoes.
Oh God, that's horrifying.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think I would just how do you not? Do you never look at your feet? How do you not look at your foot like that and not scream? I'd be like, what the fuck?
She's a dirty fucking hippie that doesn't clean her house.
I would be horrified.
Yeah,
I would think there's something seriously wrong. Am I dying?
Can't call it. I can't call it. I can just. And then I was thinking back to the couple of times I've been to Hawaii, and I'm like, I never saw a native Hawaiian person with dirty feet. Mm-mm. And they walk around barefoot a lot.
Yeah.
And no.
But they know how to take care. They have a culture of taking care of their feet.
Yes.
And Liysa with a Y does not.
Oh, because she's so nasty.
That is gross. That is so gross.
So by January 1998, it's become pretty clear to Chris that he is in a marriage to nowhere.
Yeah. Poor guy. Just imagine he kept himself pure for so long. Pure and unmarried. Just to fuck it up at the end.
Man, he got a beautiful little blonde boy out of it, but...
Yay.
But other than that, there's not a whole lot of upside here. There's not a whole lot of upside.
It's deep down he knew.
And like I said, Chris was one of those reluctant parents that didn't know fatherhood was something that would really fulfill him. So Chris decided if they're going to put this marriage back to rights, it was never to rights, it's built on a lie.
Yeah.
They were going to need professional help.
Yes. Yeah.
So Chris suggests to Liysa that they give couples therapy a try.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Liysa is resistant, but he gets her to go in for 3 sessions.
Wow. I'm surprised.
Overall, Liysa has a love-hate relationship with therapy.
Yeah.
Oh, she loves it when she can talk shit about Chris, tell the therapist about how he ain't shit, how he doesn't support her, how he doesn't support her real estate goals, her business goal. He's not a present father. He's annoying habits. He takes air into his lungs. His jaw cracks when he chews. I hate that right tooth right in the back of his mouth. His dick hairs are everywhere. She loves that part.
Yeah, lives for it.
Anytime she can tell Chris that he ain't shit.
Yeah.
It is a good day. The only day would make it better, she can tell him that he ain't shit while they're fucking. Bop, bop, you ain't shit. Bop, bop. Because the only thing she loves more than putting him down is dick.
Yeah.
You know, through all of this, they have a fantastic sex life.
That is so twisted.
All of this.
This is why, feminism helps men. You can have a very full, emotionally balanced life with, sex like that, but not with a crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just feel like if men were allowed to be more in touch with their feelings, they would have a better sex life overall.
True story.
And wouldn't be prey to these crazy women.
Man. So Liysa loves that bit.
Yeah.
Chris ain't shit, she's here for it.
Yeah.
So these first 3 sessions, they're about 45 minutes, an hour each, standard therapy sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So these first 2, I think, of the 3 sessions are just 2 hours of back-to-back Liysa talking about how Chris ain't shit.
Yes.
The 3rd session, it is when Chris is finally, the therapist is like, Liysa, girl, we've spent the last 2 sessions talking about how Chris ain't shit.
Yeah.
Let's let Chris talk about his needs, his wants. I want to hear about how you ain't shit.
Yeah.
Chris can't be the only ain't shit person here.
Yeah.
I have a feeling
it's mathematically impossible.
There's a lot of ain't shit to be had in this marriage.
Yes. So much to go around.
And so when Chris was talking about his needs, his wants, his desires for the marriage, Liysa was visibly upset and annoyed, sucking her teeth, rolling her eyes, crossing her arms.
Yeah.
And she never went back.
Of course not.
She had to think about her husband's thoughts and feelings for exactly 45 minutes.
Yeah, and it was the hardest thing she's ever done in her life.
Man.
And she will never do it again.
She never went back.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, Chris decided to continue his own treatment.
Good for you. That's a good move.
Because by March of 1999, Chris had given his therapist permission to talk about his sessions with others. Meaning if she's approached by law enforcement or anybody about his records.
He must have been scared.
He doesn't say it explicitly to anybody. He's definitely worried. We'll talk about it in a bit. He's definitely worried.
Not scared, concerned.
Concerned that his marriage is on the rocks and he doesn't want to leave the boys.
Yeah.
And his biggest concern is in all of this is that if he leaves Liysa, she is going to take the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he loves Dane. That's his bio baby.
Yeah.
But he loves Alkai just as much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, he knows that's not his son, but when they're together, the 4 of them, he treats Alkai just...
Yeah. He's a good guy.
Yeah. He was a great stepdad.
Yeah.
He really was. So, at some point he gave his therapist permission to talk about his case or his sessions with others. And the only people that would come to your therapist looking for your notes are law enforcement.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he had something on the mind, even though he wasn't verbalizing it to people. And in her notes, the doctor said that Liysa, quote, was convinced that Chris's anger and rage had caused cancer in her and one of his other girlfriends. You know, the girlfriend who passed away of cancer? The ex of 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liysa thinks that Chris gave that woman cancer. He hadn't talked to that woman in over a decade.
Yeah.
Liysa
That is so low. Yeah. Nuts.
Now, during his sessions, Chris would admit that he had a bit of a temper. He could be angry. But his anger is a slow burn. He is not the kind of person that's going to fly off the handle at a moment's notice. He is the type of person that is actually going to try to put space in the conflict, go into another room, leave the house, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's not going to get truly rageful until he feels cornered.
Yeah.
Because he's really a non-confrontational person. He would much rather leave for a couple of hours or a couple of days and let cooler heads prevail. But he did say that once he got going, he could be mean, he could hit below the belt, he could be cruel. And he admitted that, he's a 6'3", 6'4", 200 and some odd pound guy. He may be slim fit, but he's a big dude. And he also acknowledges that his size can be intimidating. And even though Liysa is nuttier than squirrel shit, he knows that she can't truly hurt her.
Yeah.
Not
without a weapon.
Right. And he does admit that in some of their arguments, he does use, puff up.
Yeah.
And use physical intimidation to try to back her down. Doesn't work, but,
That's true.
But he said through all of that, he was committed to making this marriage work for the sake of these boys.
Aww.
That's all he wants.
Yeah.
Him and these two boys. He wants to spend 6 months a year with Okai, or however that visitation schedule works out, and be in regular contact with Dane. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
The doctor gave Chris some tools that he could use to help with his anger, so that he wouldn't, say hurtful things or hit below the belt.
Yeah.
It's one thing to argue, but,
True.
below the belt.
It's still below the
belt. Right. And the therapist told Chris, look, when arguments happen, if they start to escalate, leave the house. But he's like, I already do that.
Yeah.
She was like, well, then keep leaving. Keep leaving until you fully left this relationship. Just practice leaving.
Yeah.
She didn't say that should have been the advice. Here's what I want you to do. Practice leaving.
Yeah.
Every day, leave. Every day, leave.
Yeah.
Every argument, leave. And so eventually you'll get so accustomed to leaving that you will just leave.
Yes, and not come back.
Leave forever.
Yeah.
Come back for the boys.
Yeah.
But other than that.
But, you're not spending the night anymore.
He straight up said if Liysa wanted to go, she could go. Deuces. He is not going to fight her. He's not going to fight her to stay. He's not going to fight to keep it. He ain't going to make her stay in no place where she don't want to be.
Yeah.
But he knew that if he allowed her to leave, she would take Dane and Okai. So there we are. Overall, Chris had a realistic vision of what his life was and how he contributed to arguments. And he was more likely to take the blame for the issues in the marriage in order to keep the peace than he was to, blame Liysa for anything. Overall, his therapist, he has a very healthy perspective of who he is, what his marriage is, what its problems are.
Yeah, he's not kidding himself.
Yeah, how he contributes, how he could be better.
Yeah.
He's got a very clear-eyed view of shit. And she was kind of like, I don't know how I can help him. He's doing everything that she would tell him to do. He's already leaving the house. He's not escalating. She gave him a couple extra tools to, not hit below the belt.
Yeah.
But other than that, without Liysa being a willing participant in making things better, there ain't a fuck lot she can help Chris do.
True.
In 1999, Liysa was traveling more than ever and taking full advantage of these means free fucking flights through Chris's job. Her friends in Oregon and Hawaii were being told that while traveling kept Liysa safe for Chris in the short term. In the long term, there's nothing Liysa could do or know where she could hide from Chris. It is pilot eyes and Sibba spies.
Oh my god.
Because apparently pilots are super spies.
Of course. That's a way more spicy fanfic.
Well, because her thing is he can find me anywhere. There's no place I could go. He'll always know where I'm at.
Yeah.
He can track me down. So that, like, you know what? Yeah. So pilots are super spies.
Yeah, they're all James Bond.
Yeah.
007s everywhere.
Exactly. But in spite of all of their issues, Chris and Liysa did find time to unwind with family and friends from time to time. Mm-hmm. Every now and again, they could put up a good front.
Yeah.
Fails miserably after a couple hours. But once in February of 1999, Chris and Liysa went out with another set of couple friends for a very fancy country club dinner and drinks thing. Chris didn't have to fly for a few days, so he took advantage of being able to have more than one drink. If he knows he's on call, he got to be on the clock.
Yeah.
He is stone sober.
Good.
But he's off for like 4 days.
Yeah. So,
normally he's like one beer and he's done. He can have 2 or 3. He can have a couple martinis this time. He can get a little... He didn't get sloppy drunk, but he was definitely loose. He was lubricated. Now, Liysa is a different story. Mm-hmm. When Lisa's drinking, she is evil. She is mean. She is hurtful. She is spiteful. She orchestrates conversations to cut Chris down to the quick. Mm. And his friends pretty much sat there over drinks, mouth agape about how Liysa talked to them about her husband, their friend, while he's sitting right there. Because Liysa really, she has friends, but she doesn't have friends.
Yeah.
She has audience members.
Yes.
She has fans.
Yeah, she doesn't connect.
Right. I think Marnie is on the very short list of people that she's actually connected to.
Okay. And her kids.
Yeah, but even in her friend, when we'll talk about it a little bit later, but even in her friendship with Marnie, there are problems with Liysa overstepping boundaries, being intrusive in Marnie's marriage, things like that.
Yeah.
So she does have friends, but I feel like they're more fans or acolytes than actual connections.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And every time Liysa said something really shitty about Chris, and especially if she knew she hit a good one, if he would just look down. He wouldn't say anything. He would just look down. And that's how she knew she had a zinger. And she would just like, got him. Every single time she hurt his feelings. And his friends are just sitting there like, the fuck, man?
Yeah. What is wrong with you?
He took it.
Yeah.
Every single last one of those verbal body blows he took. Now, the friends ended the night early because nobody's having a good time. Nobody wants to watch this.
Yeah.
It's one thing to watch, like, we need to talk about Kevin or some shit like that on TV.
Yeah.
It's a completely different thing to just sit there and watch a marriage disintegrate in front of you.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be there.
Or that's just verbal abuse. No one wants to sit there, like, watch. No one wants to see, like, a spouse beat the other spouse in front of them. No one wants to listen to someone be berated by their spouse.
I don't care about what that dick do. I don't want to watch this either.
Yeah.
It's just another place where Liysa has no boundaries.
Yeah.
I don't want to know about how much you love his left nut.
Yeah.
And I don't want to watch you berate my friend either.
Exactly.
So, the next day, Chris told his friend that when they got home, or on the drive home, he confronted Liysa about how she was treating him. Chris said that they had pulled the car over because they were arguing and decided that he would rather, you know what, fuck it. He's like, I'm walking home. Fuck you, fuck this, fuck that. It's February. It's cold in Oregon, but he got a jacket and 2 good feet, and he ain't afraid to use them.
Yeah.
He's an adventure guy.
Yeah, exactly.
This is just another adventure for him, goddammit.
It's a hike.
And so he was going to walk home. He was like, fuck you. I'm not doing this. But Liysa wouldn't let Chris leave. Instead, she followed him in the car with the windows down, screaming at him, driving 2 miles an hour, continuing the argument as he walks down the road.
No.
Motherfuckers!
Psycho. That is insane.
Eventually, Liysa got out of the car to confront Chris. And, because she was trying to hit him.
Mm.
And he put his forearm out to keep Liysa away from him.
Yeah.
She grabbed his arm, and as he kind of went to yank his arm back from her to get her off of him, she slipped on the ice, fell on her knees, and she got 2 pretty nasty cuts on her knees. I think she had a skirt on or something.
Yeah.
So she got some gnarly ice cuts.
Yeah.
You know what? She deserves a lot more than a couple of bumps on the knee. But I will let the injuries were real.
Yeah.
So eventually, Chris and Liysa both get back in the car, and they're driving home, but they're continuing to fight.
Yeah.
While they're driving, out of nowhere, Liysa just winds up and lands a roundhouse punch right between Chris's eyes. From the passenger seat, she just reaches over and whammo!
Psycho.
Now his nose is bleeding. And he can feel that it's starting to swell, which means it's possible that it's broken.
Yes.
So he pulls the car over again. He's like, all right, Liysa, you have to drive because now you have to take me to the fucking hospital because you may have just broke my nose, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. Instead, Liysa drove for 2 miles and then decided to go home. He never made it to the hospital that night. She just went 2 miles more down the road and said, nah, fuck it, I'm going home. And drove back to the pad. 4 days later, Liysa would go to urgent care and claim that the cuts and bruises on her knees were caused by Chris's beatings, because apparently he just beat you right in the kneecap.
Yeah.
Right in the knee.
Yeah.
I don't know, who just beats you in the knees with reeds or something.
It's a new technique. Yes.
Right, just on the knees, just on the knees.
Exactly.
Now, the cuts on Liysa's knees did have a minor infection. Probably because it was that dirty, filthy asphalt ice that she slipped on. Dirty. And she's filthy. I mean, look at her feet.
Yeah. She doesn't wash her knees either. She doesn't wash her legs.
She probably doesn't. Nasty heifer.
Exactly.
Also, for people that don't wash their legs or feet, leave that to yourself.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody.
Don't get on Beyonce's internet and start telling me about your lack of hygiene. It is not the flex you think it is. It is not the environmental flex that you want, my good boy, my good girl.
No.
You do not want that.
No.
Just kind of shh.
Yeah.
And don't tell me you don't wash. Don't tell me which parts you skip washing. Don't tell me about your lack of deodorant. Matter of fact, I already know about that.
Right.
Don't tell me that you're skipping butters and oils for your hair. Don't don't tell me that you don't use shampoo and just use baking soda. Because trust, I've probably figured that out as well. Just don't tell me about your lack of hygiene.
Yes.
Just don't. Just shh. We know you greasy bastards. So she got a little bit of a antibiotic type cream for the infection.
Yeah.
And the people at the urgent care, they're like, look, we're mandated reporters, and you said that this was domestic abuse, so we got to report this.
Yeah.
They didn't quite believe her, but if you go in and say it's DV, they, to their credit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same if someone says they're feeling shmoo or shile.
Suicide.
Yeah. They have to take it seriously, even if they think you're full of shit.
Right, that's just to their credit.
Yeah.
They did take her.
Off chance. Yeah.
They did take her seriously to their credit.
Yeah, it's her. Yeah.
I mean, we know Lisa's full of shit, but I'm glad that the system worked.
Exactly.
Because if it worked for this piece of shit, that means, God forbid, if a person that truly does need a mandated reporter to step in, you will get that help. So the doctor told Liysa, look, I'm turning your case over to the cops because it's the law.
Yeah.
Lisa begged, goes, please, no, don't report it because Chris will kill me. He's gonna burn me and my children alive in our home.
Jesus.
She said that Chris told her he was gonna slit her throat and the boys' throats and then eat them before killing himself.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
When he didn't drown them or burn them alive.
Just full on Hannibal Lecter.
Yes. At some point, he became a cannibal.
That's so weird.
Because, 99, Silence of the Lambs is out. She's seen it.
Yeah. I think this is no, this would have been before Hannibal came out.
Yeah, way before Hannibal. Ultimately, Chris would, look, the doctor and the cops did their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, Chris would be arrested for the incident. He got arrested for domestic violence. He would bail himself out fairly quickly, and Lisa never went to court, so the case would eventually get thrown out, and then he would be able to Chris would get his record expunged.
Yeah.
So,
that's good.
Bruce, those roses are not for you. Sir, those roses are not for you. Thank you.
But they smell of the great outdoors. I am a panther.
He is the knight.
Yes.
He is the bat cat. He was shedding like a big bitch. Oh, he is so fucking
It is shedding season.
I groom him 3 times a day, and I could make 3 extra cats.
Yeah. I believe it.
So a few weeks after this incident, Chris went on a hike with his dad.
Mm-hmm.
He's BFFs with his dad.
Oh, that's sweet.
And on this hike, Chris explained how bad off his marriage was. This is the first time he really tells anybody how bad it is. And that the only reason he's sticking around was for the kids, most specifically Dane, but he would like to maintain a relationship with Okai.
Yeah.
But he knew the reality of the situation is that he's not Okai's biological father. He's never been allowed to adopt him or become some sort of official third parent. And so he knows that if he splits with Lisa, that's probably the end of his relationship with Okai, which he doesn't really want, but he understands the lay of the land.
Yeah.
See, his therapist is right. He is real clear-eyed.
Yeah.
On what shit is.
Mm-hmm.
In June of 1999, Lisa went to her 20th high school reunion.
Oh my God, those poor people.
This time, instead of getting hammered and thraka over the punch bowl, she walked around with a glazed look and pretended not to know old high school friends.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh. She did tell some of her old friends about the abuse that she suffered at home. But she didn't let Chris's abuse stop her from living her dreams. That's right, I'm a downtrodden woman.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to make it. We're gonna make it after all. But alas, while she was able to do a little bit of traveling and pursue some of her dreams, alas, she had no real escape from Chris and his abuse and his pilot eyes and super pilot eyes. They're watching you. They know your every move. The pilot eyes.
Yes.
And so, but no escape didn't mean that she couldn't dare to dream. And that wouldn't stop her from homeschooling her boys, working on her photography career, and becoming a famous Hollywood screenwriter.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah! Hollywood, here she comes, the Great White Way and all that other shit.
No, not Hallmark Channel.
Lifetime.
That's it.
Television for women. Maybe a little Wee TV.
Maybe.
Like a little salt of Wee TV.
But she does have that one melodrama that she is willing to produce over and over and over.
Oh, we're going to talk about it.
Yay!
「
No, Jeannie, it's time.
It is? I get to box her? For real?
No, it's time.
God damn it.
Lisa's gonna go to Hollywood.
Oh, God. Poor Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Not even Hollywood deserves that. I mean, this is the city of a million assholes, but still.
So now, it goes without saying that Liysa is disappointed in Chris.
Yes.
Like Nick before, Chris had no desire to fund her real estate collection or her business plan to nowhere.
Yeah.
It's funny, both of them love that she wants to help people.
Yeah.
They love that about her.
Nice.
They're just not going to give her money for it.
It's such a stupid plan.
Well, I think it's more because she has no real plan.
Yeah. No, she just wants a ranch in Oregon.
With maybe some cows and some goats, and somehow she's going to help
It's
women
going to heal women.
Yeah.
My good life will heal the world. Don't you know? Oh my God. I'm special.
But she has no other plans. That's it. And they know that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why they're not fucking giving her money.
Yeah.
That's that. But in truth, Chris was actually investing in Liysa's real estate collection.
Oh.
I guess he just wasn't doing it right. So, like, the addition that Chris had built on the house in Hawaii,
Yeah.
you know, his Sanky Punky Pad,
Yes, yes.
the Sancho Hotel.
Yeah.
It's not the Sancho Hotel anymore. They're married.
That's true.
But she basically, in the divorce, Liysa does keep most of the property. She ain't give Nick shit.
Of course. Yeah.
She made him pay for a lot of shit, but
Yeah.
she ain't give him nothing.
She's garbage.
So that addition that Chris took out the loan and built that Sanky Punky Pad
Yeah.
onto her house meant that that home went from being worth maybe $300,000 in the late 90s to being worth over $700,000. Probably even more now because of its location to the beach.
Yeah.
I think it was like a 3 or 4 block walk
Nice.
to a nice little public beach. That is a massive improvement in value, especially when you consider when they bought the place, it was just a step above a 3-bedroom shack.
Yeah.
It was a pretty rundown house when her and Chris and Nick and I wish Nick and Chris would have done this together.
Yeah, that would have been better.
I think they would be great co-dads.
Yeah.
But no, Liysa brought out Nick. Chris had also done a fuck ton of renovation to the house in Bend. But apparently that didn't matter because Chris had owned that house before he had married Liysa, so it's not really hers.
Yeah.
So the renovations for their family mean nothing.
Yeah, of course. Is it money in my pocket?
Girl, the fact that Chris was renovating the Bend house and the fact that that house is actually hers made Liysa so woefully depressed.
Ugh. Good. Choke on it.
That she would lock herself in her room for days on end when she had to be there.
Lucky world.
Why can't it be my house? Why do you have to invest in property before you met me, asshole?
Yeah, how dare you? Life began with me!
To add insult to injury, Liysa hated all of Chris's friends and family.
Of course.
Liysa would go days on end without leaving the house or bathing. She would just go greasy while she was there.
Yikes.
But being depressed didn't seem to do much for Liysa's temper.
Yeah.
On more than one occasion, Chris had a handyman over to repair holes in the walls.
Yikes. Yikes.
And when the handyman would come, and Chris would be like, "Yeah, this is the same handyman that helped Chris do the renovation, so he's intimately familiar with this house."
Yeah.
And he sees all these holes, and he was like, "Somebody around here has a temper." But he starts to look closer at the holes, and he notices the holes are incredibly small.
Yeah.
Chris is a big guy. If he's going to punch a hole in the wall, it's not going to be this tiny.
Yeah.
The handyman may not be as big as Chris, but he's a healthy adult-sized male,
Mm-hmm.
and even like he couldn't even get his fist through the hole.
Yeah.
Well, the children, who are like 7 and 2 respectively,
Yeah.
unless they're some sort of super babies, they can't be punching holes in the walls like
exactly.
this. So it has to be Lisa. That's
that crazy bitch.
like, it weirded him out because he was like, what the fuck is going on in this house?
Yeah.
Where this, because he's seeing her just being greasy and depressed,
Yeah.
but there's holes all over the place.
Right?
So he's like, what is going on in this house?
Yeah.
And what is going on with this broad that she's damn near catatonic anytime I see her?
Yeah.
But I come over, there's fucking baby mouse holes punched all over the place.
Yeah.
He was definitely taken aback by the place.
Mm.
And especially since, Lisa's no housekeeper in any kind of regard. It did actually get to the point that Chris was embarrassed to have people over to the house.
Yikes.
And eventually he quits inviting people to the house altogether, unless it's like the handyman and other workmen and things like that.
Yeah.
Because this house is a sticky mess.
Yeah.
By this time, Lisa's fed up with Chris and his unwillingness to buy her endless real estate for her endangered woman's business. So she decided she is going to have to buy the property herself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go for it.
And you want to know the best way to get that kind of money?
How?
To become an award-winning screenwriter.
Of course!
The only way.
Emphasis on award.
The property she wants costs like $2 million.
Jeez.
It's several acres of land. It comes with like 30 head of cattle. She wants goats. There's all kinds of outbuildings on it.
$2 million worth of real estate and servants. He's like, you can't do that. That is cruel to put that loony woman in charge of 30 head of cattle.
Man.
That poor cattle, she can't feed them. She can't take care of them.
She can't do anything. She can fuck.
Ugh.
I mean, as evidenced by how often she cheats on her husband, she can't do that.
Yeah. But that's not going to help you run a ranch.
Or an endangered woman's shelter.
Yeah. Very counterproductive.
So, with that in mind, Lisa went to Maui for a very fancy writers' conference.
Okay.
And this isn't one of those writing conferences that you go to the Learning Annex for $50.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the larger writing conferences for up-and-comers that are really serious about making connections and developing mentorship.
Yeah.
The late, great Anne Rule was a regular attendee at this particular conference.
It's a real professional conference.
John Grisham, screenwriters for the Golden Girls and stuff like that. Like, real people. Not to say that the people at the Learning Annex aren't real people, but real professionals that make a real living writing movies, commercials, and TV shows go to this conference, and if you play your cards right and can get in front of the right person, there is a really high chance that you can make a friend and a mentor here.
Yeah.
Which is the whole point of going.
Yeah.
Right? So being a lifelong writer, Lisa already had a few novels, short stories, and screenplays to share. So in a way, she's a bit more advanced than a lot of the other novices that are there, because she actually has some work. Some people might be there just to attend the classes or collect business cards and make connections, but may not have a lot of work ready to share, type thing. And her body of work was good enough to start up a mentorship with a man who did not want to be named, so we will call him Craig.
God, like almost every man in this tale, or is it every man who's living?
Every living man does not want you to know his name. Every living man that is not her son's does not want you to know their name. So during one of their meetings, Lisa pitched Craig a screenplay about a dying woman who wanted to help her friends by leaving insurance money.
Mm-hmm.
So she decided to help her friends by framing her husband for murder.
Mm.
Double indemnity.
Yeah.
So Craig liked the idea, and he was also impressed with Lisa, and he thinks she's hot.
Mm-hmm.
She knows she's laying it on thick.
Yeah.
And so he offered to help her clean up and shop the screenplay around after the conference ended. So mission accomplished. She went there to find a mentor. She found a mentor.
Mm.
By October 1999, Craig said that he had so much faith in Lisa and her screenplay that he was going to co-write it with her before they started shopping it.
Mm-hmm.
He had written several successful TV shows,
Nice.
commercials, screenplays for some movies. He makes a living.
Yeah.
He makes a damn good living
Mm-hmm.
doing what he does.
He's a good connection.
Yes. That any novice would be happy to have.
Yes.
I want a Craig in my life.
Right? Yeah.
During their work together, Lisa would also often hint to Craig about how unhappy she was in her relationship and how violent her marriage could be. But I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. They tell you that it's
Yeah. Please don't force
violent.
me to get into the details.
of the violence of my marriage.
Violence.
So while Craig was worried about Lisa's safety, he was more worried about getting the scripts finished.
Yeah.
He's like, look,
Priorities.
unless you specifically say, please help me,
Exactly.
there's not much I can do for you. But even though Craig believed in Lisa and the story they were trying to tell, he looked at this more as helping a mentee learn the screenwriting system, and selling the story was just a bonus,
Yeah.
right? Like, he's realistic about what it takes to sell a script,
Yeah.
right? Just because you can get it, you might be able to get it in front of some studio head. That may not mean anything if you don't have an agent, and da 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 da. And you also want to get an agent, so you got to put this in front of some agents.
Yeah.
And so he understands the inner workings, and he's like, what? Would he love to sell it? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, this is still a great lesson in how the business works. And on top of that, Craig was enchanted with Lisa. And she loves that.
Yes.
And Craig is not the tall, slim fit, handsome man that she usually goes for. He's short,
Yeah.
balding, little nebbish.
Yeah.
But Lisa's always trying to marry up,
Yeah. True.
or perceive to
Yes.
marry up. I feel like Chris and Nick, she broke even.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she feels
Yeah.
or felt like she was marrying up. So, yeah, Lisa flirted with him.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa started talking to friends about the possibility of leaving Chris to start a new life with Craig.
Oh wow.
And he flirted back.
Yeah.
And they're working on the screenplay. And they're flirting. And blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Chris is trying to be supportive of this.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't seen Lisa this happy in a while. He really wants her to succeed.
Yes.
He rearranges his schedule so that he can be more at home with the kids more, so that Lisa can take trips out to LA once or twice a month.
Yeah.
And he's really, really trying. Although Lisa hated coming to LA and being separated from Dane for too long.
Okay.
You see, she had breastfed Okai until he was 5.
Oh dear.
And she planned to do the same to Dane.
Oh dear.
So a lot of times Lisa would have to take the boys with her to LA no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5.
Oh God.
Well, Lisa said she was going to breastfeed until the baby told her he was ready to stop.
That's a way to do it.
And apparently Elkai was ready to stop at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Dane is about 2.
Yeah.
He may or may not have 3 years of this breastfeeding shit
Right.
left in him.
Man.
They got teeth at that age.
I know, right?
Oh, bitey little fuckers.
I know.
No sir, no ma'am. You better chew on this rubber nipple and leave me the fuck alone. No. So, by the end of 1999, Liysa and Craig had meetings with agents and producers in LA. They are really shopping it. They are really doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
Liysa often tried to get her mentor Craig to leave his wife and family for him.
Of course. Hobbies. Get some, lady. Get some better ones.
This is her hobby.
She's
Dick.
a husband fucker.
Yes. She's a husband fucker. That is her hobby.
Mm-hmm.
She'll...
Shut your fucking legs, husband fucker.
Yeah, just your right son, husband fucker. You
Your
don't eat or
husband
sleep,
fucker.
don't mow the lawn, just fuck our husbands all day long.
Husband fucker.
That's you. She is a husband fucker.
Yeah.
And you know, those bitches is agents of chaos.
Truly.
Because a hoe,
Yeah.
a hoe will fuck your man,
Yeah.
but she will return him more or less in the same condition that
Yeah.
he left it.
It's not personal.
No, and she probably will never see me again.
Yeah, exactly.
A mistress will take some of your resources,
Yes.
but she will generally stay out of your way
Yes.
and in her lane.
Yeah.
Husband fucker.
I
Ooh, these hoes.
know.
These hoes.
Drama llamas.
And the way Liysa saw it, if her and Craig were together, they could be the hottest power couple in Hollywood.
Of course. Of course.
But even though Craig was infatuated with Liysa
Mm-hmm.
and flattered by her attentions,
Mm-hmm.
he was not going to blow up his life for her.
Hell no.
No. He said what it boiled down to is he was scared.
He's got some street smarts.
Well, no, but like not scared of her, but like scared of if I have an affair and I get caught, what happens to my life? Like he's
I gave
scared.
him too much credit.
Well, no, he's scared of the consequences of an affair.
Yeah.
He's only contemplating an affair with Liysa. If she wasn't coming on to him, I don't think he would be contemplating the affair.
No, no.
But he cares about his wife, children, and career enough to know that he shouldn't blow it up for this dizzy bitch.
Right. Yeah.
This is self-preservation. That's
Yeah.
all this is. He's just scared, and he's not going to blow up his life for her.
Yeah.
And to add insult to injury, not only is Craig not willing to ruin his life for the love of Liysa,
Yes.
but none of the production companies or agents bought their screenplay. Nobody was interested in picking it up.
Yay.
And that left Liysa feeling rejected, dejected, and disappointed on multiple fronts.
Ha ha. Good.
She's disappointed in Chris. She's disappointed in Craig.
Yeah.
Nick been a disappointment.
Yes. Hollywood's disappointing her.
She's somewhere oscillating between disappointment and betrayal. Hollywood disappointed her.
Yeah.
Craig and Chris have betrayed her.
Ooh. Ooh.
Well, I mean, Craig said he could help her get this thing to sell.
True.
Nobody picked it up.
Yeah.
He lied. Betrayed.
Betrayer.
Chris, while he's supporting of the screenwriting thing, is still unwilling to buy her real estate to nowhere
Yeah.
and to support businesses to nowhere. Betrayed. She
This is completely sane.
and then she just abandoned her mentee relationship with Craig
Hmm.
and all dreams of becoming a Hollywood screenwriter.
Yeah.
That was it. It was instant success or nothing.
Yeah.
Not long after she was dejected and betrayed by Hollywood,
Yeah.
Lisa's laptop was stolen in a break-in, and with it, all of her work as a screenwriter.
Oh my god.
Which is just as well. If she couldn't have instant success, she didn't want any success at all. So what was the point of writing?
I guess that's a healthy way to look at it.
No, that's not the healthy way to look at it.
No, she gave up. Fuck it.
It's like a normal person just like be disappointed, but you made a friend and you learned some things.
Yeah.
You can take another crack at the
No,
apple.
I mean that. It's like a healthy way of looking at your laptop being stolen.
Oh,
You were done with it anyway. Fuck it.
yeah.
Nothing else about her is healthy, but I think that's a good way to cope with like a burglary.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about it later. So pissed off that her career as a writer was not as instant as she needed to be.
Yeah.
And of course, if she's not a famous screenwriter, then she's never going to earn the money that she needs
True.
to buy the land for her business to nowhere. So she goes back to Chris and the kids, just depressed and dejected.
Yeah.
By this point, Liysa could barely stand the sight of her husband.
Oh my god. That poor man.
And so she kept up the tradition of just random mini vacations. Her and the kids. Random mini vations, her solo. Just being out of the fucking house so she ain't got to look at it.
Good for him.
They did try to take a family vacation to Tahiti in early 2000s, but the adults were so fucking miserable that they were like, yeah, we'll never travel as a family unit ever again.
Yeah.
Never in life. I'm tapped. I'm done.
It's over. Done.
No. And even though Liysa was upset about the state of her screenwriting career, she eventually would have gotten past that or found a lie that would have made it sound like she chose to walk away from a lucrative.
Yes.
She, of course, she does spin that much later to her fans and friends. And she walked away from a lucrative screenwriting contract. And I'm sure it's because Craig sexually harassed her.
Yeah. Yeah. Something integrity, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what really pissed Liysa off at this point in her life, what really got under her craw, Chris suggested that he and Liysa help buy his parents a house by the lake.
Oh, how dare he?
Bro, how dare you think of helping your parents with their real estate endeavors? And I've been asking you for $2 million for this fucking ranch to nowhere for years.
Right?
Years I've been begging some man to get me this ranch. Oh, you ain't got no ranch money, but you got a couple $100,000 to put your parents by a lake? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh, she is pissed.
Yeah, no doubt. No. Oh my god. She's such a psychopath.
And even
Heartless,
worse.
empty husk.
Oh, it gets better. Or worse.
Oh god.
So the lake house that Chris's parents were thinking of buying is in the same town where Liysa spent a lot of her childhood.
Oh.
The same town where her grandparents lived.
Yeah.
Where she has cousins, friends, aunts and uncles. Chris's family has never really met Liysa's family.
Oh.
Or her friends.
True.
She makes sure to keep these groups of people separate. And because remember, she hates her in-laws with the power of 1,000 white-hot suns.
Yeah.
And nobody can quite understand why, because the relationship started out so nice.
Yeah.
And I honestly think, and I can't prove it with science, but I honestly think the reason that she's so pissed, well, obviously, about Chris not buying her a ranch and wanting to buy his parents a house, but the reason why the location pisses her off is because if Chris's family moves into the same town where she has family and friends, these people may meet.
Yeah.
And if they start to compare notes,
Yeah.
all of her lies will just start coming to the fore.
That makes sense.
And she just doesn't want that. Remember, all of her friends in Oregon and Hawaii think Chris is an abusive monster.
Yeah.
Let Marley's mom or somebody meet Chris's mom at a coffee clutch,
Mm-hmm.
strike up a friendship, figure out who he's married to.
Yeah.
And then Marley's mom is like, oh my God, I heard they've been going through some rough patches. And Chris is all like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
It never happened.
Yeah.
Right? And apparently that community is small enough that it would happen.
That is a threat to her, for sure.
Yeah. And I think that's what has her so pissed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Almost more pissed about the location
Yeah.
than she is that Chris...
It's like adding insult to injury.
Yeah. She's already pissed that Chris won't buy her a mansion, but he'll buy his parents a lake house.
Yeah.
Now, from where Chris sits, helping his parents buy a lake house is a good real estate investment.
Yes, it
and
is.
that's what we're all about, right?
Yeah.
We collect real estate so that we can make it work for us.
Yeah.
Because he was like this. I buy my parents this lake house, right? Our family, or families, because his sister's got a kid or 3, and yada, yada, yada. Our kids and our family can enjoy this lake house together now, while my parents are still in their 60s. While the kids can hang with their cousins.
Yeah.
And we can make wonderful memories there.
Yes.
And then in 100 years, when my parents have passed away, this property will just deed back to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we can sell it or just keep it in the family as generational wealth and continue to make memories for generations to come. Either way, this is a good buy. Nah. No. I don't want it. And this time, the fighting was so bad that Chris was telling his friends that Liysa was being a psycho, but he didn't want to leave her because she would cut him off from the boys.
Yeah.
And he was also afraid of how nutty she could get.
Yeah.
Because much like Kevin, Tim, the lifeguard, and countless other men, Chris had finally started to realize that Liysa has an issue with the truth.
Yeah.
He heard all the stories about how she was abused as a kid. He no longer believed any of it. Because at the bare minimum, he's met her parents and her brother.
Yeah.
He knows, and like Marnie and like one other friend. But he knows just enough to like not make it be weird.
Yeah.
You know? But he doesn't know anybody outside of that. And these people that he has met don't act like she's ever been abused.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
Yeah.
Also, none of the things that Liysa had promised him when they were dating in that letter writing campaign and sneaking into his window, Melissa Etheridge style, coming to his window by the light of the moon.
Yes.
That she'll be home soon. None of that was coming to pass.
True.
Like, matter of fact, most of the time, instead of, working on cleaning the house or doing... Come on, Bruce, what do you want? Because I know it's Bruce.
Yes.
Oh, it was Talia. I was wrong.
But it was on the...
Well played. I just couldn't tell.
Yeah. She's like, I was playing by the rules.
Well played, TT. Well played. But, like, instead of, yes, she does homeschool the kids, but instead of doing other stuff around the house when she's homeschooling the kids, 99% of the time, Liysa just walked out the door leaving food to rot on the table.
Yeah.
Just letting the kids throw their clothes and their toys on the floor. By October 2000, Chris had noticed that Liysa had calmed down a little bit. He didn't know why. He didn't know what. He was happy for the peace.
Yeah.
He is so good. He is, whoo.
Yeah. This works for him.
Be normal. Because he really would like to get back to the business of being a functioning family.
Yeah.
And it was around this time that Liysa suggested that the boys, four of them, should go on a camping trip in the Oregon mountains.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah.
Now, Chris loved the idea of going on a family camping trip.
Yeah.
But he wanted to wait for a camping trip in the mountains Not that he's above it. Like,
Yeah.
he is not above winter camping.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But he had just come off of a 15-day schedule.
Yeah.
He'd been flying for the last 15 days. And he wanted to be close to home for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Doing all that traveling. And the best season for camping in the mountains had pretty much come and gone.
Yeah.
It's still nice during the day. It's not quite snow on the ground yet.
Yeah.
But it's going to be pretty gnarly at night.
Yeah.
When it's going to be freezing
Mm-hmm.
at night. But Liysa insisted and scheduled the camping trip to take place from October 6th through the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
She just planned it with no input from Chris.
Yeah.
She just decided. Liysa decided also that Dane would be the only one to go camping with them. So it's just going to be the three of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okai was going to stay behind. Well, not stay behind. He was going to go to Washington State, where a family friend of Lisa's, Ellen DeVoe and her husband,
Mm-hmm.
owned a farm. Ellen was a glass blower.
Mm-hmm.
And so Okai was going to spend the weekend with them and learn about glass blowing in Washington.
Okay.
Because that's what every 7-year-old wants to do at their time.
Yes. Glass blowing is actually pretty cool, though.
Maybe he was into it, but
Yeah.
this is why I say I bet you the enrichment,
Yeah.
a byproduct of her nutty,
Yeah.
is that those boys had every fucking adventure.
Yeah.
I bet you mom's nuttery notwithstanding, because they're approaching grown men by now,
Yeah.
approaching their early 20s.
Yeah.
Okai would be his early middle 20s.
Yeah. Almost 30.
And Dane would be approaching his early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
But mom's nuttery notwithstanding, I bet you their childhood was fucking magical.
I hope so.
She's a fucked up person.
Yeah.
But the way she loves on those boys and wants to provide them every opportunity
Except for like a clean environment.
She won't clean the house.
You know she's not washing their little feet.
No, their feet are disgusting. But she will take them on glass blowing trips.
Yeah.
She will take them snorkeling. She will, oh, you want to be an astronaut? Then let me figure out who I gotta fuck to get you on this.
Yeah.
On the space shuttle. She really is. I think the one thing about her that is genuine is the way she pours into her boys.
Mm-hmm.
Her possession and shit is unhealthy.
Yeah.
But I think her love and devotion for those kids is real.
Mm-hmm.
And considering the lifestyle that her, Nick, and Chris have, I can see that translating into a magical fucking childhood.
I won't let her have it, though. No.
You're not letting her have it. You're
No.
letting the boys have it.
Yeah, the boys can have it. I'm not letting her have it.
Letting the boys have a magical childhood. You don't have to let her have it. They had it.
Good.
And
they
I
deserve it.
I like that for them.
Exactly.
So the plan was this. They were going to take 2 cars to the campsite in Oregon. Liysa and the boys would head out first, and they would drive to Washington, where she would drop Okai off at the DeVoes and spend the day for a little while before driving the 300 some odd miles away to the campsite in Oregon. On the way to the campsite, Liysa and Dane would meet up with Chris. He was going to have all the camping gear.
Yeah.
And then they would just caravan out to the campsite by a river or whatever. Right. Chris did this all without complaint because he was just happy to see his family on the mend. That's all he wants out of life. He is so good.
Yeah, bless his heart. Bless his little heart. So much.
I know. It's all going to come crashing down.
I know.
Oh, Jeannie. It's going to get a little sad.
I know.
Because it's time for the end of Chris Northam.
No.
All good Chris's must come to an end.
I know, and the name of the show is literally Talk Deadly to me.
Yep. You knew it was coming.
I get like maybe one a year that comes through unscathed. But every day it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. I liked Chris.
He's a good one.
He is a good one.
So October 9th, 2000 should have been a normal evening. The Northam family, Chris, Lisa, and Dane were out camping and should have been bedding down for the night. It's a little after like 11-ish, midnight maybe. It was late at night when Lisa, but then late that night, Lisa shows up to her brother Tor's house. Wet, shivering, and carrying Dane in her arms.
How dramatic.
When Tor answered his door, he could tell that his sister had been in some sort of altercation.
Yeah.
She was wild-eyed. And she had what looked like the beginning stages of a black eye.
Oh.
She's glazed, she's wild-eyed, she's crazy.
Yeah. She's in a state.
Yes. This woman's always in a state.
I mean, right.
If she shows up at my house looking hysterical, it's just what? It's a Wednesday.
I know, but this is like even for her in a state.
Yes. Once in the house, Lisa told Tor that Chris had beaten her and tried to drown her.
Oh my God. If only.
And this wasn't the first time that Tor had heard of Chris beating his sister.
True.
In fact, their father, Wayland, had recently declared that Chris was a dangerous and disturbed person based on his years of working in colleges, prisons, and, of course, the one-sided stories that Lisa tells.
Yeah, mostly the one-sided stories
that Lisa tells. Tor begged Lisa to go see a doctor, just come inside.
Yeah.
But Lisa didn't want to go to the ER. She doesn't trust them. Chris could have people there. Instead, she decided to drive back to Washington to see her friend Ellen, which is also where Okaya stayed.
Yeah.
See, Ellen's husband is a doctor.
Okay.
And Lisa trusted him to give her a once-over where she doesn't trust the emergency room in Oregon.
Spies are coming for me.
Pilot spies. They're watching
it's so weird. And now this is fascinating. So there's like it's conspiracy between the pilots and doctors.
Yes.
Like they're part of this shadowy network that's out to get her.
The private eyes. They're watching you, watching you, watching you, watching you. Ooh, Hall & Oates. That's
right.
But that's what she's giving. She may as well just go around singing that.
Yes.
Because that would be just as ridiculous.
This lady is weird.
Deeply
this
weird.
Is like
deeply weird.
I shudder to think the day she learned of like Alex Jones.
Oh, that's not her kind of crazy.
Really?
Her kind of crazy needs her to be the center of the crazy.
True. That's true.
Alex Jones is the Alex Jones, Bill Cooper kind of crazy. The crazy happens around you.
That's true. She's alone crazy.
Right. You alone know the secret of the crazy. But the crazy is everywhere. Like you're not the main character in the crazy.
Yeah.
Her crazy. She is the center.
That's true.
The center void of all of the crazy. This woman is a black hole of emotional need.
Yes. She's an event horizon of dysfunction.
Man.
Oh.
And so with that, Lisa took Dane and drove through the night to the DeVoe farm in Washington.
Yikes.
She gets to the DeVoes in the wee early hours in the morning, so let's call it 11, maybe midnight when she gets to Tor. 300 miles and some change. Let's call it 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah. Okay.
When she gets to Washington, banging on the DeVoe's front door, still soaking wet, terrified, holding Dane in her arms.
This is such a gothic novel. I can't stand it.
It's like very Flowers in the Attic without granny boots and like weird incestuous grandma.
Yes, definitely.
And like beaten children.
Yep.
I guess this is what Flowers in the Attic would look like if the mom had pretended to give a damn.
There you go.
If the mom pretended to give a good goddamn about the kids, this is Flowers in the Attic. Right?
Yes.
With teeth chattering.
Scarlet, oh, you're all right. How can I assist you?
Lisa told Ellen DeVoe that Chris had attacked her, beaten her, and tried to drown her. Now, she just drove 300 miles in a car with a heater. I think this bitch jumped in another lake somewhere.
Teeth chattering.
Like, why else would she still be soaking wet in the 300 miles between her brother and Ellen? Even if she didn't turn the heater on in that SUV, which fuck you, she did.
Right?
Fuck you, she did.
I refuse to believe she's that crazy.
No. She turned on that fucking heat, if for no other reason to keep that baby warm.
Yeah.
And I bet you she was more than half dry before she pulled up to the DeVoe's house, and she had to go find a river to jump into right quick. So that she could go to the house and be like, oh.
And scene.
Lisa couldn't really say how she had managed to escape. All she knew is that she had to get away and to get her and Dane into the car in someplace safe. Ellen got Lisa out of their wet clothes and ran them a hot bath and got them something warm and dry to wear. She is full convinced. Ellen is on board.
Okay.
With the...
Yeah, she's been brainwashed.
Yes. Interesting, but we'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
Once Lisa and Dane were warm and dry, Ellen insisted on calling a domestic violence shelter to get Lisa some help.
As you do. Like, if I knew nothing except the stories, and this is what was presented to me, I'd do the same. Any responsible human being would.
Right? So, the shelter told Lisa that she needed to get to a doctor. And Lisa decided to drive herself to the fucking ER.
Of course.
While Ellen and her husband stayed home with the boys.
Okay.
At the hospital, the doctor saw that Lisa had some small cuts and bruises and the beginning swellings of a black eye. I low-key think she ran herself into something or punched herself in the face.
Yeah, I could see that.
Hard enough to leave a mark, but not so bad that it never turns into a proper shiner.
Yeah.
It always just stays that little bit, that like slight graying under the eye, never a proper shiner. As the doctors and nurses looked Lisa over, she began telling them that she was a victim of domestic violence. And during the exam, Lisa complained that her knee, shoulders, and back hurt. But there were no real signs of violence on Lisa's body. Again, the cuts that she got a couple weeks before, they're, 90% healed over?
Yeah.
They're pretty done.
Yeah. She's basically in good shape.
Yeah, she does have cuts and bruises, but again, even though the doctors don't know this, most of this is a byproduct of her active outdoor lifestyle.
Yeah.
And probably just from keeping a nasty ass home. Probably running into shit left, right, and sideways. Nasty house like that shit. While Lisa was being examined, she began to explain that her husband she had gotten into a fight with her husband somewhere between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. That's an awful big window.
It really is. Yeah.
I know you're camping and it's the woods, but you gotta watch, bitch.
Yeah.
It's the year 2000. I know you have a cell phone.
You are not reckoning by the stars, you liar.
Right. You gotta watch. Right. You probably have, I know for a fact Lisa has a fucking cell phone.
Yeah.
And their cars are parked at the campsite. Cars have radios.
Exactly.
Radios have clocks. You can find out what time it is.
Yeah.
But whatever. According to Lisa, she was sitting in a chair by the river, and Chris began drinking and taking pills.
Taking pills?
Yes, he was
Oh my
taking
God.
pills and drinking.
This is a new wrinkle.
He was also smoking with cigarettes.
Yes,
It's a horrible state of affairs.
yes.
Lisa said that she told Chris that he needed help for his drinking problem, and Chris responded to dumping Lisa and her chair into the river, then grabbing Lisa by the hair and holding her underwater.
That happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Chris was only stopped when baby Dane came toddling out of the tent, crying and grumpy after waking up from his nap.
Mm-hmm.
Dane getting up gave Lisa the space that she needed to escape Chris, and she stayed in the tent with the baby until Chris passed out from the booze and the pills and smoking with cigarettes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This from a man who just eats the most simple meals, just meat, vegetable, and starch. That's really it.
Yeah.
He's a simple and bland man. But he's smoking with cigarettes in these streets.
That's so weird. Smoking with cigarettes.
You don't remember that meme? It was like a little kid that was on the news talking about how he just liked to do bad things with his bad friends. And the hood rat shit. What about hood rat friends? Like smoking with cigarettes.
Oh God, that's so funny.
It comes from this little kid. Like he had stole his parents' car or something. And it was like, I just like to do bad things. I'm smoking with cigarettes.
Oh, bless his heart.
So now, every time somebody gets accused of smoking, I'm like, they were smoking with cigarettes.
I like it. It's such an arresting way to phrase it. Like, yeah, you are smoking with cigarettes.
Smoking with cigarettes.
It's so unusual, but it makes so much sense.
I think the kid was maybe 10 years old. Tops.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I'll have to show you the video. He's a horrible child because he stole his parents' car and has probably been acting out for a while before that. So the child needs some level of intervention.
Yes.
But smoking with cigarettes is everything. At some point, Lisa believed that Chris was asleep. And so she decided to walk by him to check.
Yeah.
Because she's thinking about making her escape.
Yes.
And then as she walked by, Chris exploded into action, tackling Lisa, hitting her against the rocks, and he began to choke her. Once again, Lisa's able to get away from Chris, and she retreats back to the safety of the tent with the baby, waiting for him to pass out once more before she makes another attempt at escape.
Oh my God. She's a shitty writer. There's so many holes in this goddamn story. I can't stand it. I am biting my tongue.
More plot holes than M. Night Shyamalan.
Jeez, right? Jeez.
Although I'm looking forward to being disappointed in his new movie Trap. Like, I'm not going to spend money on it at the theater.
Don't.
But when that shit comes on HBO, I am here for how bad this thing is going to be.
It's going to be very, very
Apparently,
bad.
it's all just a setup for his daughter's, middling pop career.
It's a concert movie.
Yeah, with a murder.
Yep. Mm. No, apparently, the world's stupidest murder.
Yeah.
And it's just, most convoluted murderer.
Yeah, apparently.
It's bad, I've heard.
So I watched a review.
Same.
Since I'm not going to actually fucking spend money on this thing.
Are you shitting me? Or time. I'm not going to spend 120 minutes going for this?
Let's be real. I am a movie raccoon. And if I am bored enough, and maybe even stoned enough, on a Sunday, and I can't find the remote, fuck yeah, I'll get trapped into watching Trap. There's a trap.
That is a trap.
Oh my God, please let them play Trapped in that soundtrack somewhere.
Oh my God.
Somewhere in that movie there should be, I'm gonna take you on, I'm trying to take on anyone. You have to play Trap inside a movie called Trap.
Yeah.
Especially a movie that says
he would not give that to you. You know it.
I know he won't because this is all, in support of his daughter's career.
Exactly.
Which, you know what, he is still a father. And He's just trying to create opportunity. And I can't fault him for that, but this movie is going to be trash.
Yeah.
And I, for one, look forward to being disappointed in Trap. The dude that stars in it gave an interview that was way too serious, and it cracked me the fuck up.
I know. It's his comeback, don't you know?
What was he in before?
He does not have a good picker. I want to say the last thing he was in was like Pearl Harbor.
Didn't see
but
it.
like that was like just the kind of like movie. He just has a bad picker.
Yeah,
when it comes to some of these things.
I recognize his face.
He was the thing that I recognize him from, and like that's good. And I watched it again. It's been a long time. The Faculty.
Oh, that's been forever.
I know. That's a
some
fun
Ryan
one.
Phillippe shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was in it.
I remember when Ryan Phillippe was a thing.
Jon Stewart was in that.
Yeah, did he play a teacher or some shit?
Yeah.
He was.
That was a fun one. That is a fun, weird, late 90s horror film.
Okay, so he's like 90s brat packaging.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. He was on the periphery of that version of the brat pack.
Mm-hmm.
So when she was fairly sure that Chris was asleep, Liysa picked up Dave and the family gun. This time, as she ran by Chris with the baby in her arms, she ran away and took a shot, shooting as she ran, shooting blindly as she ran to her SUV with Dave cradled in her arms, making a great escape from evil.
Oh my God.
Evil.
If it was, oh my God, if I was the cop she was telling this shit to, the lightning speed with which the cuffs would come out and just clack around her fucking wrists, it would, I would bend light.
I think we've discussed this is why you're not allowed to be a cop. You would just be like, no, this is bullshit, under arrest. No, I'm not going to look into it. I just don't like the story, under arrest.
This is bullshit.
You're lying, and I know you're lying.
Oh my God. Right?
I'm not looking into shit. This bitch lies.
Did you hear the fucking story?
She lies.
Just the times she like runs to her nylon tent to wait for like him to calm down, like he couldn't get through this flimsy fucking shit.
It's a
if
tent,
he was
right?
Really after you,
Yeah,
sure, lady. Oh,
the safety of because I guess she's trying to say he would never do anything in front of the baby.
Oh my God.
That the baby is really the only thing protecting her.
I know. But why does it have to have like 3 acts like an opera?
Well, I mean, you can't. Every good screenplay has at least 4.
I know. She is so egotistical and so elaborate.
Now, when asked why she drove from Oregon to Washington to report what had happened, Liysa said, well, I don't know that area of Oregon very well, and I wasn't sure where to go.
So I decided to go as far away from it as possible.
Right.
Do you know that area?
To Washington State, where my son was staying. Basically, she just needed to go pick up her other kid.
Yes.
But we're going to say that I don't know the area.
Exactly.
While Liysa is still telling her story to the cops, the Washington police called the Oregon cops and said, hey, we need you to check out some campsites. Based on Liysa's story, they did narrow it down to like 2 campgrounds because now she can't remember the name of the spot, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
She describes it and they're like, okay, it's like one of these 2 places. The Washington cops needed the Oregon cops to locate Chris to make sure that he was okay.
Yeah.
Because they're like, so where's your husband? She's like, I don't know. I was running. I was firing blood.
Yeah.
Liysa said that she had fired a shot while she was running, but she didn't stick around to see if Chris was injured.
Mm-hmm.
When the Oregon cops got to the Maxwell campground, the Oregon cops found the body of Chris Norton next to the river, wrapped in a sleeping bag, dead of a gunshot wound. And that is where we will leave you.
That
until
lying
next week.
cow.
The thrilling conclusion of Liysa Ann DeWitt's Northern. I will say, mini spoiler, no one really believes her. Nobody.
It's so, this story is so freaking stupid.
No one really believes her, but at the same time, we'll talk about it more next week. While the authorities don't technically believe her story, they don't really have enough evidence to prove murder.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that a little more next week.
All right.
But on that note,
that sounds interesting.
I have been Samara.
And I've been Jeannie.
And this has been Talk Deadly to Me.